Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be going over Patch Notes 3.10. As you can see, this is the patch that's going to include Chamber, as well as other additional changes. And I'm just going to briefly read over what they put at the start here. After a brief delay, we're happy to get the newest Agent Chamber into your game. Also, 5 stacks for all ranks in the competitive queue is added with a few conditions in place that impact how much or how little ranked rating a group of 5 will earn. We highly recommend you read those below. I'm going to go over it, along with our competitive producers notes. We also fixed that odd 128 FPS issue that causes up to a few milliseconds of additional input delay. Read it below. As you can see, there are agent updates, and the agent being the added Chamber, and he is the newest Sentinel to be deployed in patch 3.10. As you can see, this is the newest agent and his different abilities. His first ability being Headhunter. It basically just gives him a sheriff that basically is just a souped up sheriff, being they can make a headshot at any range, so it's basically a mix between a marshal and a sheriff, if that makes sense. Onto his next ability, it is called Rendezvous. It basically is a setup teleporter within a certain range. As you can see with the video that's playing while I'm speaking, basically you use it, place it down, and you teleport from one to the other. I believe it only works in one way, but it's also good just for quick repositioning. It can also help you out with aggressive pushes and getting out very quickly. It's basically just a stationary Yoru teleport that has 2 anchors set to one spot. His other third ability is the Trademark. It is basically a slow that activates by itself when an enemy gets near it, and it has a range shown by the screen that's quite big, and it slows that field for a certain period of time. This basically gives him the Sentinel role, being that he can lock down this area with its slow. The last ability being the ultimate for Chamber. It is a souped up operator called Tour de Force. It basically, once you kill an agent, it puts down a slow field in that given spot, making it very hard for other agents to push through, giving you a better chance of shooting them as well. Once you use the ultimate, you have 5 bullets, and it cannot reload. Chamber in a very basic way as described by the patch notes. Next, we'll move on to the competitive 5 stack and how they changed it. Basically, they just made it to where ranks that you could not 5 stack before, you can now 5 stack, but they also explain the different downsides to 5 stacking. Basically, if you are in Diamond and you have that disparity in rank, you gain less elo. Basically, if there's a disparity in your rank, you're going to get less elo depending on who's higher and who's lower around your given rank, and if you have a radiant, it is much lower. So in simplicity, if you're 5 stacking, it's going to be more likely than not, it's going to be longer queues as well as less elo gained. But it's all very variable depending on who else is 5 stack queuing against you and if their rank matches yours. In theory, if you're all say Diamond 3, all 10 players in a server, then it will in theory give the same amount as a regular ranked match. However, the likelihood of that is very low. They also completely abandoned the concept of 4 stacking simply because they found that one person that was by themselves experienced a lot of toxicity, so they basically just removed it. So you can either 3 stack up to a certain spot, which before was around the diamond area, or you can 5 stack. So basically, once you get up to Diamond 2 or above, you can either 2 stack or you can 5 stack. They also added some observer changes. They basically made it where you can change the HUD colors for attack and defenders, making them easier to identify, as well as changing the abilities colors, so you can always tell whose abilities is who. And there's also a yellow outline on the minimap to showcase which player is the active target of an observer. Basically making it before you couldn't really tell who was being observed, and if you did, there's like a small line, you couldn't really tell which team they were on. So they basically changed that to make it simpler for people observing while watching a tournament. Then they basically just changed some bugs, like previously stated, the 128 frames per second, which caused some input lag. And they also changed basically just reinviting people to servers, so lobby bugs, and also just changed some bugs found through observing. This has been patch 3.10. Hopefully you enjoyed. And yeah, if you need some info on the patch, come back next time when patch 3.11 comes out.